Hey everyone, it's James Hurst with The Marketing Show. In today's video, we're going to do the beginner's guide, the introduction to custom objects, which admittedly can be a pretty crazy complex thing that the developers are going to have to figure out. But from our standpoint, we just need to understand the basics of it. And I'm going to jump right into HighLevel and give you some real world examples, okay? Now, the good thing is you may not be familiar with custom objects, but whether you knew it or not, you've already been using the contact object. Okay, a context is a great place to start because we can all identify with that, right? So if I'm going to go have a contact, think about a contact. Everyone's going to have a name, an email, a phone, right? But maybe in your business, maybe you have something else. If I'm a chiropractor, maybe I have something else. If I'm a veterinarian, that's where we have this idea of custom fields, okay? So contacts, the contact object, basically if anything is going, anything like what's called a property. Okay, so someone's address, their hair color, their eye color. Okay, but then sometimes you have this. There's a tendency to want to stuff other things on here on the contact that really don't belong. Okay, and I'll give you a good example of this. One is the company. Okay, look at this here. So if I look for the company name, so the business name here, I have put in Xerox, okay? Now, all that is right now is it's just a text field with the name of Xerox there. Now, how helpful is that? Well, it's better than nothing, right? But can you imagine that maybe there's more than one person that works at Xerox? Wouldn't I like to go to the Xerox company and see all the people that work there? Maybe there's a headquarters address. You can see, I could go and add custom fields. Let's do that. This would be the old way. Okay, I want to keep track of the business address of that company. So I'm going to go ahead and go to custom fields, and I'm going to add business street address. Right. So luckily we have that functionality, the capability to customize to our needs. But so I'm really not able to choose other than a contact opportunity. So I have to just go here and say, well, business street address, right? And I guess I have to put it on the contact, and maybe I could put it in a group here for around the business information. But see, now that business street address, let's say I put it under general here. So now I've got that business street address, but it's on the contact. You can start to think, well, what if I wanted other things, the phone number? And so what you start to see here is, well, there's a limitation. I'm just keeping a little bit of text on this contact. And really the company in the real world, it's kind of this whole other thing. And we're gonna see other examples of these other types of things that we weren't really able to jimmy rig onto the contact record. It just didn't make sense, okay? And I'm going to show you an example of that as well. So now for a long time, so John Doe, he's got Xerox in his company name, and James Hurst, he's got Xerox in his company name. And after a while we said, well, wouldn't it be nice if we had like this company object? And in fact, they made it, but how come Xerox is not showing up here? I thought that was the company name. It's because we were still doing it the old way, just the plain text field, Xerox in the plain text field. So what they did was, imagine you're thinking, well, if he has Xerox and we have Xerox, what if we could do a little automation and we could create Xerox as a company, and then all of the contacts that have Xerox in their text field, if I looked at the company, I could see all the people. If I looked at the people, I could see the company. It's about these relationships, the relationship between the contact and the company. And they made a little automation that would do that for you. Maybe you haven't done it yet. So I would go to settings, and I'll go all the way down here to companies. And it says create and associate companies with contacts. So basically it's going to say, hey, I see that there's Xerox, the exact same spelling in this contact, and there's a Xerox in this other contact, the exact same spelling. Let's go ahead and combine those two together, and we're going to kind of make this the beginnings of the company object. Okay, so let's go ahead and do that. So company automation, retroactively create company records for your existing contacts. the system will begin creating company records and associating existing contacts based on their business name field value. Let's do it. So all I have is just Xerox so far, right? Success, your setting has been saved and is running. Awesome. If I refresh this. So now we've got this contact object, right? Now what do we have? Do we have anything that kind of like resembles a company object? Let's go in here. And I don't know how long this takes to work, but there you go. See now, company name Xerox. I can't edit that right now from here. It would be really cool if I could somehow go to this company and see all the people that work at that company. And so now I have this company tab up here. And if I click on Xerox, I'm starting to get this picture of a company object. I could start to add this phone number here. And look at this here. If I hit save and I look at the contacts, you can see now I'm starting to get the reverse. This is the relationship. Now this company is much more capable than just the text string is Xerox on a contact record. Okay, so hopefully that helps. That's kind of the beginning idea of objects. Okay, so we've got some default objects that we're already used to working with. Okay, so the problem is that all of our businesses are different, and I'm going to go through an example using this idea of tickets, right? Like a tech support ticket. We're familiar with that. Maybe you would have a ticket name and a ticket number. So we're going to kind of use this idea to use like an automation in filling out a form and what that would do. So let's go back to here. So here's a contact. And I'm going to make a quick form here. Okay. And I'm going to put a name and an email. Okay. And I'm going to put a ticket name. So here's a ticket name and a ticket number. Okay, ticket name and a ticket number. Ticket name and ticket number. And hit save. Okay. So imagine this is like a tech support service, okay? And they're ready. They have a problem. Let's say their DNS settings. So let's do John Doe. John Doe. We'll just put John. And I'm going to use a contact that I already have in the system, okay? So I'm going to use johndoe@gmail.com. And the ticket name will be DNS errors. And the ticket number will be TX1234. And I'm going to hit submit. So what that does is that now should have just added to my contact a ticket name and ticket number. So there's the ticket name. And then the ticket number is TX1234. And here is where the problem starts to identify itself. Is that let's say that he comes through again. Okay, so John has a late, 3 hours later, something else has gone wrong. And now he's got another ticket name and another ticket number. Okay, so let's do that. So let's call this, let's say the page is not loading. And I'm going to call that TX 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, whatever. Okay, page is not loading. What is going to happen now? Okay, keep your eye on this ticket number here and ticket name, DNS errors. When I hit refresh, you can probably guess what's going to happen. What do you think is going to happen? Well, ticket name, right? Ticket info. Ticket name is now page is not loading. Ticket number is now 1, 2, 3, 4. What just happened to the other ticket? It's gone. I mean, I just overwrote that. And it's because tickets really belong more like a company. They're more like a company than a little piece of extra data like my hair color, my eye color, right? Another example of this is, for example, cars. Okay, I like this example a lot because people can relate to cars, make, model, year, right? VIN number. Lots of people have more than one car. That's one of the reasons why this is a good example. People might have 2 or 3 cars, depending, maybe 1. So if I wanted to start building out automations and I would do custom fields, right? I would need some custom fields for my car. So I would come here and I would do car. I would do make. I would do make. Put that on the contact object. And then I would do model. Year, make, and model, right? Model. And year. Year, make, and model. Okay. So 1977 Toyota Corolla. Year, make, and model. Well, if I go and put those on the form, then I'm going to come here and I'm going to do year. And I'm going to do make. And I'm going to do model. Year, make, and model. The problem is, what if I have 2 cars, 3 cars? Okay. So then you're left wondering, well, okay, well, I guess I need more custom field. That's really my only option. So I guess I'll go do that. Well, shoot, I guess I should rename that other one to car 1, car make year 1, make 1, model 1, because I'm going to have year 2, model 2. And really those things aren't really even grouped together in any kind of real way. They're just little pieces of text on the contact. How can I keep all that together in the system? Okay, but let's at least do our best the old way. So now I guess we're going to call this year 2 or year of car 2. Year of car 2. And then we'll do make of car 2. And then we'll do model of car 2. So, and then I guess we would want to make the original model. I guess we would want to make that model of car 1 to at least kind of keep that straight. Year of car 1. And then, was it make? Of car 1. So now if we come back here, see if those automatically update the name of those. But we may not even want, two cars. So it's just clunky. Okay, when this is not done well, it's clunky. Okay, let's go to custom fields. And let's do car 2. So now if we wanted to fill out year of car 2, make of car 2, model of car 2. Okay, I want to refresh. I'm going to come out of here. Form 20. There we go. I'm surprised that doesn't, the label doesn't refresh, but so year, make, and model. For the sake of example, I'm going to add one more, which is going to be registration expiration date. Okay, so single line. And notice that we have the objects here. I'm going to call this registration and date. Okay. So someone has 3 cars, they're kind of out of luck. A lot of times you'll just do, hey, most people, they imagine this is kids. Well, maybe most people won't have any more than 5 kids. So let's just do 5, and that should cover most of the cases. So that's just going to be, what did we say? Expiration, expired, registration, and date. Okay. Okay, so hopefully we're starting to see this idea that a little piece of text is not very helpful sometimes, whether that's just the Xerox company name or year, make, and model of a car, right? Another example could be like in the veterinarian space, would be like a pet, right? Here's my pet. Here's the pet's name. Imagine I have pet name. Maybe I have pet, his vaccination records, right? Vaccination record, pet name, pet birthday, right? I could put all of that on the contact record, but that's great if I have one pet. But what if I have two pets? Okay. And there's so many things that are like this. And so that's where the need for custom objects arose. So we've already got a few different examples here. We've got pets, right? We've got tickets, something more of a virtual type thing. We've got the pets, we've got the tickets, we've got companies, okay? We've got kids, the relationship between parents and kids. So let's go ahead and play with custom objects now. And they're so close, they're right there. But they're kind of limited because we really need them to work with a form, with forms and workflows. And I'll kind of talk about that here when we get started on talking about car. We'll talk about cars again. Okay. So let's go ahead and make a car object. Let's pretend like I am a car wash. So I'm going to go to settings here on the left, and I'm going to go to objects. Okay. And I'm going to click add a custom object. And it wants to know about these objects. Would this be a pet? Would this be a ticket? Would this be a car? And look at that. Even the example here is a VIN number. Okay. You got to think about what is it about this thing that makes it unique, right? A VIN number is a very good way to identify a car. Okay, so let's do that. So let's call this a car. And they want the plural form of it. They want cars. Primary display field name. So what's that primary? We'll do VIN number. Okay. And what kind of field type? I guess it's the only option is single line of text field. Change icon. I'm sure eventually we'll get more options here. For now, we'll just leave it at that. Car custom object description. Car object captures key information, engine power, top speed, and mileage. So car object captures VIN number, year, make, model, and color, for example. Okay, so now those proper, remember that higher color, the eye color that we talked about for contacts. Now we can have that ability to start modeling out these cars. Okay, how many seats, how many, the brakes, the suspension, year, make, and model. Okay, so let's go ahead and do create custom object. Now I'm not making a specific car. I'm kind of defining the object itself, and then we'll actually make actual cars that are represented in the system. Okay, so great. You can start adding custom fields to the new object cars. Okay, that's great. So now we were over here. If we hit refresh, what if I did want to add color? What if I wanted to make year, make, and model? Look at that. So yeah, we have those years. Those years were on the contact object. Is there a chance that I could move those over now and put them on the, nah, shoot, I can't. Okay, that's okay. Because in the back end, this needs to be done, the right way. So we were putting year, make, and model on the contact object. Now let's go ahead and redo that. And you'll see here now that when I click next here, this object, I now have a new object, which is my car object. So again, now let's do this again. So year, well, we already have VIN number was already created. And look, this group here is going to go on car info. I think they made that for us there. Okay, so I'm going to save that. So I have year. Now I have, and see that there on the object here. If I look at year, you can see that I have contact, but now it's on the car object. And the merged fields are slightly different now too as well. This is now on custom objects.cars.year. If I ever wanted to reference that in a workflow, for example, okay? Let's put a couple more out there. So let's do make. And let's make sure that we put that on the car object. So year, make, and model. We talked about the expiration date too, didn't we? For now, I'll just do, I could maybe play with dates here and stuff. I'm just going to keep it simple, call it a single line. And we'll say registration end date. Okay. So now that we have that, let's actually go make an example car. So let's go ahead and go to objects here. And, oh, in fact, now that I've made that object, if I go back over here on the left, you'll see now I got the icon there and I've got cars. Okay. And look at that. VIN number, year, make, and model. So let's go make a new car. And the VIN number. So VIN 12345. Hit save. Well, that's not super helpful. We probably need to add year, make, and model. Oh, look at that. So if I come in here, click on it, I can add 2024 Honda Odyssey. Okay. Registration end date. Let's say that it is June 30th of 2025. Okay. Let's do that. Well, let me ask you a question now. How helpful is it now to have this car that's sitting here all by itself? It has to be tied to, it needs to be tied to a contact. So let's go back into John Doe here. And if you notice now, there's a new tab up here. See, these kind of things, kind of appointments are kind of their own kind of object, a note object, right? Now there's this thing called associations, and this would be kind of how we connect cars to contacts. So let's go to object settings. And this is the association, kind of like companies were associated with contacts. We're going to associate cars with contacts. So let's go ahead and do that, create association. And we're going to go ahead and do cars. And we're going to select an object to associate with. Let's see here. Let me cancel out of this. I just want to make sure. So objects, contacts, cars. So I'm in the cars. And now if I go to associations, I can create an association for cars. So I'm already a car. I'm going to associate these with contacts. So a single label. Now what to name these it's not easy necessarily. And you're just going to have to, this is just the association. I'm going to call this contacts and cars. Okay. Contacts to cars. Just the associate. I'm going to name the association. So this is contacts and cars. I'm going to call it contacts to cars. Okay. Now all this stuff here, right? This is all the back end stuff that the programmers have to do that you don't have to worry about, and I'm just grateful for them that have to get this right. Okay. So let's go ahead and hit save. And now that we have a contacts to cars, I should be able to basically give that car, I should be able to tie that car to a contact. Okay. So there's the associations tab there on this car. And I'm going to go ahead and add it to a contact. John Doe. Now, if you are thinking, oh my gosh, I cannot do this. I cannot add a car one by one and go and connect this car to John Doe like that. And like, that's great. And you're absolutely right. Like, this is going to need to work seamlessly, just as seamlessly as you're used to with automations and forms and that kind of thing. But we're laying the groundwork for this. Okay. So now if I go to John Doe, I click on associations, you can see that I have my car here. Okay. And there's my car. So now let's go back to here. I don't know where this is at today, but let's go to the forms. If I was to make a new form, the day should come when we have this quick add here, right? And we would have custom fields. We would have like maybe another one of these menus here for custom objects, right? So I can see this drop down, contact opportunity. The day would come that when car would show up there as well. Okay, and then we would drag out year, make, and model, and the registration end date. Okay, now this is the really cool thing, is that soon, when we make a new automation, okay, make a new automation in your HighLevel, there will be a new trigger for car created or ticket created. So everyone's workflows are going to be different based on the objects that they've created, okay? Or imagine ticket modified, okay? Just like we would if a contact changed, right? Or a contact was created, we would have very similar workflow triggers for the new objects. And I think a really cool example of this is when that car comes through the workflow, the form, it's going to have a VIN number. That form's going to get submitted, and it's going to have an email address and a contact name and a VIN number and a make and a model. And it's going to create that car, tie it to that person, and then it's also going to have the registration end date so that then you could do, I believe you'll be able to do something like this. Wait until 30 days before that end date. Wait until 30 days before that end date, the registration expires, and then send an email notification to the owner saying, hey, just letting you know your registration is going to expire. You need to come in and get the safety and emissions and do that and pay the taxes, at the DMV, right? So that is that for cars. And then from the standpoint that we talked about with these tickets and these cars coming in on car 1 and car 2, right? So no longer will you have car 1, car 2, car 3 over here. They're going to start to collect those kinds of things over here. Related objects, cars, tickets, pets, you name it. Okay. So that's custom objects. I hope that was helpful for you. Really, this would be like a part 1. We're so close. I think it's not quite, I don't know how usable this is today. Once forms and once workflows are supported, then I think we'll start to see some of the magic happening around this. Yeah, it's going to get crazy. And it's going to open up a lot of new opportunities, a lot of innovation, I think, will come out of this. And it's going to really increase the capabilities of the tool to where instead of a CRM, it will start to become an XRM, where the X is, instead of just customers, relationship management, imagine it could be inventory, right? It could be, you name it. And like, if you really want to blow minds, imagine that even objects could have objects, right? I can start to relate objects to each other. Imagine I have that car object. What if I'm in the radio business? What if I'm like Pioneer and Pioneer radios or whatever radios they have, and all I really care about is the manufacturer date of that radio and its properties, the create date, all these things. And so I'm really more concerned about what's happening there's a contact and an object and then another object for like the radio. And so it could get crazy. And imagine like a husband and wife, they share for the car wash example. Imagine a husband and wife, they have have a relationship, and then they both could bring in one or two of the cars. And so all of that hopefully will be coming, and it's really going to increase the capability of the CRM. Hope this was helpful. Hopefully that seeing it here in the app helped it make more sense. Please let me know if it was. And with that being said, guys, I'll look forward to seeing you in the next episode. Take care. Bye.